Hey, what's up people? Removing some of the inner guards at the door, and they are coated in Plastidip Blue Blaze, which is a favorite, as you can imagine by now when you've seen my videos. And what I've done right now is just rub everything off with some of these fiber towels. And I'm gonna let it dry for a bit, and I'm gonna do a touch-up with the Plastidip, and I'm gonna show you how easy it is to maintain these. And usually when you have these on your cars, they get a lot of skid marks and people stepping with like harder shoes that breaks these. And as you can see, they have some dimples over here and there. It's pretty easy to coat everything again with some leftover blue glaze just to make them look like new again. And it's the best color paint to sustain something like this that always get rubbed or damaged by people's shoes. So a good thing to do maybe once a year to keep it maintained and make it look awesome. So this is going to be really easy, and I'm going to show you the results after my first coating of spray, which I guess is the only thing I'll need. We'll see. So plan B worked a lot better as suspected. So you can still see it's trying to creep up. Crawl. As you can see here, it's crawling a bit upwards on some parts, but that's not going to show that much after a couple of layers of plastic. So as you can see, pretty okay job for being a fast fix, and trying to save some on the paint, just doing touch-ups. So I will finish this up and have some after pictures when it's done. So time for an update on the door guards. As you can see here, the paint of the Plastidip has risen a bit, and this is because it didn't really properly seal as the second coating. And this could usually happen on a lot of Plastidip projects. And it can't be explained more than the beneath of that surface, it wasn't rugged enough, or it just didn't seal enough with the paint. So that extra coating you put on it just really didn't seal tightly enough, and maybe it dried up too fast as well. Could also be a problem. So what you can do is you can just rip everything off, because this is, as I said before, a Plastidip, which is really easy to just remove by hand. It takes about maybe half an hour or so. But if you don't want to do that, there's another trick, which was good in this case. I can actually show you. You can, if you see some of these bubbles and lifts, then you can use just a cardboard knife and make an incision here just to open it up and let all the air out, and keep everything warm with a heater. And you can also use a heat gun, and it's also possible to even melt the paint again to make it fast and better. But in this case, it's just not gonna quite do it for me. So I'm just gonna make some incisions here all across this, where it's all bubbly. And I'm gonna use some extra paint and a heat gun to make everything properly dry and seal tightly. So we'll see how that goes. Became removing this part because I thought it was just too loose on too many points. So I didn't want to risk it. Probably I could just overpaint it and made the bubbles decline by itself, but it just wouldn't look good enough. So what I did is like I just pushed everything back so it's flat and good on these parts, because this wasn't the problem area. The problem area was here. It just lost its grip on this filler material. As you can see, this has been updated quite many times now because it's just so uneven and so destroyed. So I will be updating the paint on these points, as you can see here, and I'm going to keep this portion which has no problems, and just make everything connect with each other with the paint as good as possible and make it even with the Plastidip blue glaze. So plan B. Alright, and we're back after the really long drying period of this Plastidip, and as you can see where I removed the old Plastidip cover, the paint has crawled a bit on those parts where it really didn't get stuck properly, which isn't the problem in this case. I'm gonna do another method by using an old brush, filling a cup with some of the Plastidip paint, which is I'm heating up right now, and I'm just gonna apply this by hand and make a thick layer before doing the last coating. And there you go. So I've been dipping the paint a bit, making it thicker on those parts where they have some wrinkles. And as you can see, it covers this up pretty good, but I still have the wrinkles. It's not gonna bother me that much because I'm just gonna kick this with my shoes all the time anyway this season, so I'm just gonna make a hack job of this as well. This is just a fast solution. This one looks a lot better, but that's not so strange because this is on the passenger side, which doesn't get that much punishment, so it looks almost brand new. So that worked a lot better. So I'm gonna put on the last coating when this is dried up, so it gets rigid enough to withstand if the paint starts crawling again when it's drying up. Okay, so after the I think it's like third or fourth layer, just evening everything up. Our door guards here, and as you can see, it's pretty good. It's not fantastic. There are still some rivets and unevenness here on the border, and it's even worse on the driver's side, which has some dimples and warps still, but I could get away with that. But instead of using a lot of more Plastidip paint, which just make everything more bubbly, I'm gonna use another method, which I just recently discovered that you can buy reflecting strips for tires or guards or whatever, just to make it more, I guess, more Tron-like sci-fi. But I'm just gonna use a strip of red to indicate that the door is opened. You can see it during the nighttime, which is going to protect and also hide any unevenness on that border, as you can see here. We'll see how that looks. So there we go, reflecting strip on both sides. of the door guard. And hopefully this will keep stick on. I used the heat gun just to be safe. It warped back into place here. And it should hold from what I can gather here. And pretty good job for being a quick fix, touching up some really hard places on the car that uses Plastidip and always gets in bumps and scratches and stuff like that from shoes, people stepping into the car. And yeah, it's gonna hold for a while, I guess, before doing something more extreme. So I think they're ready for this next oncoming season. And we'll see how it looks on the car.